from the vault, high atop the pastoral center of the Diocese of Camden, you're listening to Talking Catholic.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning into Talking Catholic, the official podcast of the Catholic community of South Jersey. I'm your ever faithful host, Pete Sanchez, with ever faithful Mike Walsh, my co-host. Mike?
You know, it was weird. The last podcast we did, I criticized your introduction because, and I said that I wasn't introduced. Though since we had both audio and video footage, I was able to show that I was introduced. But the reason it didn't feel like I was introduced was because I didn't get a chance to say hi, because you went directly over to talking to Marianella Nunez, who was the other co-host last week. And so I felt like I had been overlooked, but I had not, in fact, been overlooked. So thanks for not letting me feel overlooked today.
Well, I want to give you a voice, of course.
Thank you. Because I don't talk on the podcast nearly enough.
No, I want you to talk Catholicism. Talk your heart out with Catholic.
Okay.
I guess. So, speaking of Catholic, Mike, we got cool events coming up this Saturday, June 22nd. This is awesome. The Catholic Charities will hold their 8th annual World Refugee Day at Christ Our Light in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 402 Kings Highway. From 11 a.m. to 2:30, they're going to have food, fun, and games for the whole family to celebrate World Refugee Day. And, of course, Catholic Charities does fantastic work with, we've had Mary McCusker on and many Catholic Charities employees, and they just do fantastic work helping refugees coming into the United States. And come out and support their work, and it's going to be awesome. This event is free. So for more information, contact Sam Astley at 856-342-4156 or visit www.catholiccharitiescamden.org /WRD2019. Again, this is this Saturday, June 22nd, 11 a.m. to 2:30 at Christ Our Light in Cherry Hill, World Refugee Day.
And you know, that's one of the, I have to say, that's one of the most joyous events I get to go to on a semi-regular basis. It is just a blast. I mean, the kids, going to see the refugee kids alone is hysterical and fun, and they just love playing and being silly and enjoying themselves. The Catholic Charities workers, who are themselves a good group of people, they turn into kids while they're there, and they just have a blast. And then finally, the food is through the roof. There's a ton of it, and it's all, you know, sort of culturally appropriate food that a lot of the refugees themselves bring, have made at home and bring to the party. So it is, oh man, so much flavor, so much good food. And so much of it. So it's just a blast. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
So if you want to experiment with some cultural cuisine while also helping out and spending some time with these refugee families who are just thrilled that A, they're in the United States, and B, they're really getting an opportunity to have a good day. It's great. So I encourage everybody to go.
I just have to say, this past weekend, it was 68 years ago, 1960. Or actually, I'm wrong. Yeah, it was about 58 years ago, 59, almost 60 years since my family ended up here in the United States from Cuba. Mm-hmm. They were refugees, and every year we mark it. I mean, we celebrate it in some way, and it happened to fall Father's Day weekend. And I just can't help thinking about my grandfather's wisdom, and I'm thankful for Catholic Charities who helped my family out in New York. Mm-hmm. I know I've talked about it before. So I'm, my father and my families are refugees, and this event kind of tugs at my heartstrings a bit.
Yeah,
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that this is happening, and Catholic Charities is continuing the great work and helping out these families like my own, to give them a chance to be here in the United States.
Yep, I agree. It's a blast.
And also coming up, Mike, we've talked about the Catholic Charities. They hold their Share the Journey events out in Brownsville, Texas. And we've had Sister Norma Pimentel on the program.
We've had her and Kevin Hickey and Mary McCusker and a number of pilgrims who have gone down to the Mexico-Texas border for no other reason than to learn, for themselves what's actually going down on the border, and to meet the people and talk to border agents and talk to immigrants who have come across and the people who are working with immigrants and the people who live down there to see what it's like for them to sort of be in the crosshairs of this immigration crisis that's going on at the border. So it's what it is a learning and educational opportunity where you get to go down there and be with people you've probably read about in the news but haven't had a chance to interact with. So it's, we've really been pushing it the last over a year now, I guess. And everybody who's gone down has been truly touched by it. But more importantly, they've been educated by it. So it's a great thing to do. Is if you have the opportunity and the time to go down, spend 5 days down the border, I recommend it.
Yeah, it's one thing to read about it in the paper. It's another thing to experience the lives of these migrants and refugees and encounter them, as Pope Francis said in his message. That's what we need to create, that culture of encounter. And you can do it one way by coming out to this, and you can actually apply for one of these pilgrimages that are happening in the upcoming months. Go to CatholicCharitiesCamden.org, and you will not be sorry for coming out. It's really going to be a good time, I promise. A few other events coming up. We're already talking about June. End of June, I should say. It feels like June has flown by.
It has.
Religious Freedom Week is taking place from June 22nd to the 29th. This is going to begin the feast day of Saints Thomas More and John Fisher, and it includes the nativity of St. John the Baptist, and it ends with the feast of Saints Peter and Paul. All wonderful saints, and the theme for this year is strength and hope. And really what the USCCB is doing with these Religious Freedom Week, it gives a sense for all to pray, reflect, and act on the religious liberty issues, talking about help individuals learn about them from a Catholic perspective, pray about issues, and act as in, find ways for the parish to serve their community, or perhaps even by calling their members of Congress to really tell them to support religious liberty and get out legislation on this. And the Strength and Hope is the theme. And again, June 21st to the 22nd, to the 29th. So come on out for this. This will be through prayer, education, and public action to promote the essential right of religious freedom for Catholics and for those of all faiths. So for more information, go to usccb.org.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where people might think that as Catholics we don't really fall under our religious freedoms being impacted, but we do. It's something that happens to us with some regularity. And a number of court cases that in the past couple of years that have been have gone through the system where our beliefs, particularly in the area where in our beliefs in where life and death sort of are part of our daily lives. These are court cases that could very easily affect us. There was the famous court case against the Little Sisters of the Poor, where their health insurance they were being forced to accept things like healthcare providers that would offer contraceptions and things like that are against Catholic teaching. So that was an important case with our religious freedoms. The United States has laws that protected us, and sometimes that line gets blurred. But at the end of the day, if the ability for us to be free peoples in this country, we have to focus on the religious freedom from time to time, and that's what this week is a reminder of that. So take advantage of it. You'll see a ton of stuff coming out from the USCCB that week, and we'll be putting stuff up on our social media about it as well.
Learn about the lives of people like St. Thomas More, who we'll be putting up something this week, Mike, for Talking Catholic, Talking Saints. Lord Power and I did talking about him because you want to talk about somebody who was just courageous in his faith and in the face. I don't want to spoil it, but just listen to Talking Saints.
Well, spoil it for me because I don't know what day it's supposed to go up.
June 22nd.
Okay.
So
that's
yes.
Sunday? Saturday?
Saturday.
Okay. You're going to get it right up to me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't have it on my calendar right now.
No, okay. No,
or else it's not making it up.
No, St. Thomas More, and just interesting, and even, so just check out usccb.org. And then also, sticking with Catholic Charities, this is cool, Mike. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, the Archbishop of Manila and the President of Caritas Internationalis, will be honored at the Justice for All dinner coming up this October the 3rd. at a Resorts Hotel in Atlantic City starting at 5:30 p.m. This is Justice for All is their annual is Catholic Charities' annual dinner, where all proceeds from the awards dinner they benefit the most vulnerable populations in South Jersey, and that's helped by all the good work of Catholic Charities. And actually, at this same event, there'll be local Disciples of Mercy honored, and to that end, the dinner is seeking Disciples of Mercy to be honored. If you know of any individual group or ministry in your parish that really does a lot of good work, going above and beyond to put Catholic social teaching into action, why not nominate them for recognition as the Disciples of Mercy, which are given to exemplary individuals from each of the 5 deaneries of the diocese. And these individuals are engaged in an effective ministry that sees and respects the God-given dignity of every human person. And these Disciples of Mercy will be honored at the dinner on October 3rd. So come on out. You can nominate individual group. If you know somebody, Mike, you might know a Disciple of Mercy. I'm sure you do.
Do I know Disciples of Mercy in my personal life, or do I know people who have been awarded the Disciple of Mercy award?
A potential Disciple of Mercy.
Nah, I hang around terrible people.
No?
No, just kidding. No, actually, I do. I know a number of people that would be deserving and should be honored, and I will fill out notifications for them, or nominations for them rather. No, it really is. Oftentimes as we're putting together this Justice for All dinner, we tend to focus on the main awardee. It was Sister Norma Pimentel one year. It was Cardinal Tobin. This year it's Cardinal Taglay. But those local Disciples of Mercy, those are actually the biggest treat I get, because usually we get a table of parishioners that come out to support them, and it's a great reminder of all the great work that's actually taking place in South Jersey that really, showcases our Catholic faith and the good works that we can do with it. Typically through the week, particularly on Sundays, we're focused on the good word. It's important to focus on the good works from time to time as well. And this Justice for All dinner does a really great job of highlighting all the wonderful people that we have in the diocese who are doing stuff day in and day out that oftentimes we don't hear about, and they don't necessarily want notoriety for it, but they deserve to be spotlighted on this kind of day. So if you know of anybody in your community, or maybe some other community, that is deserving of a Disciples of Mercy award, make sure you nominate them at CatholicCharitiesCamden.org/JFA 2019.
Oh, good job, Mike.
Hey, thank you.
Straight out of the...
All from memory, too. How about that?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. You get the no prize.
There you go.
So, Mike... I'm excited.
I know we have a special guest, but we're very excited about this.
Yeah.
And I feel terrible because one of the things we've brought him on to talk about an event that's going on this weekend, and I have never been to the event, so I'm going to have to rely on the two of you to educate me and make me wise.
Well, you'll have to come on out. Hopefully, you can make it this Friday.
I hope so.
Father Yvans Jazon, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good. And you are the current administrator at St. Teresa Calcutta Parish in Collingswood, which is not too far from here.
No.
Wasn't a long commute over.
No, it's about 15 minutes.
No, thank you. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the vault.
Thank you for having me.
How's your day going?
It went really well. So far everything is fine. So
we'll try to keep it going.
Yes,
keep the good days going.
Busy,
And the event, of course, Mike and I were talking about, is the Haitian Farmworkers Mass. That
yes.
I've been privileged to go the past couple of years, and it's just if Mike and others who haven't gone, it is quite an experience to really see. What can you say? I don't want to say who this Mass is for. What is this Mass about, Father?
Well, it's been like 9 or 10 years ago. I had the privilege to be invited by a priest, because the priest just passed by and happened to know somebody there. And then the person would like to go to church, but didn't have a way to go to church because they don't drive. And I was invited to celebrate Mass there. And then they have a lot of Catholics there. And I was so surprised to see how many people who came to church that time. And it was like, I can say, since 2008, 2009, It was very, randomly we go there to celebrate Mass. It was a priest, Father Yvans Jazon. He was in Atlantic City working with the Haitian community at that time. So we were like kind of doing Mass once in a while. And after that, I heard a story where somebody died in the field because of lack of water. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, this is something serious now, something that I would like to push forward to minister to the people. And with Collis, who was at that time the Black Catholic director at that time, Collis Seller, I think you remember Collis. And I approached her about it, and she was gracefully welcomed the idea. And since then, I think 10 years ago or 9 years ago, we just created the Farmworkers Mass as a big event, and where we have a big Mass for them. But before that, we have Mass once a week. Mm-hmm. So we used to have a priest coming every year to minister to them for 6 weeks, where they have catechist, they have confession, but that was stopped. And I took over since I was at St. Monica's Church. So I used to go there twice a week, and I transferred to Wildwood. I did the same thing, and I had Mass for them. And it is a great ministry.
I guess something to clarify is, so the Haitian farm workers are only come up to South Jersey for a period of time, 6 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
So usually they're down south in the Florida area,
yeah.
right?
They just migrant workers, so they go from places to places. Mm-hmm. Now they come from North Carolina, and next they will be in Maine.
Okay.
So
they kind of move up as the
that's what they do.
Okay, so as different fields are in need of being reaped, they go up. So when they're here, I mean, I'm assuming because they're in Hammonton, it's going after blueberries.
The blueberries, and we have more than 2,000 Haitians there.
More than 2,000 Haitian migrants
Yes.
come. So basically, our Haitian population explodes for about 6 weeks while they're here.
Well, they stay in the farm.
Okay.
So they just come directly for the farm for the blueberries, and they have different farms they stayed, but we just coordinate everything in one farm. That's where everybody gathers for Mass or for the celebration, the big celebration that we have.
Yeah. And they bring.
Go ahead, Pete.
No, they bring their families too. That's a big part of it.
Yes.
That's what something I remember. It's quite amazing. That's why I enjoy coming to it every year. You see, it's unlike anything I've ever seen in the diocese. You see this Haitian community, you see these families, these kids, and it's right in the middle of I think, Columbia Fruit Farm.
Yes.
Right? But they work in different places.
Yes, they do. They have different farms. And then in the morning, the buses, drive them to the farms where they have to work at the time. So, and at night, so everybody gathers. And last night I was there until 10.
Oh, wow.
So I because what I do before the Mass, you realize that we have a choir. So I practice with the choir for a couple weeks, and then so they can celebrate the Mass. So, but they are available only at night.
Yeah.
So
of course.
I left Collingswood at 8 to get there on 9, and then we start practicing. So it is such a joy. It's such a joy, and I have a great testimony where somebody was crying couple years ago, and when I asked why, and then she said, well, long time ago I used to walk far to go to church, but now it's amazing to see church comes to me.
Yeah.
And she said, I had to go and buy dresses to come to church because I know that I'm coming to farm. I didn't really bring any church clothes. So now, and then she has to be in a hurry to get clothes church so she could come to church. So that was amazing, and that was a good step of evangelization, I think.
And the last couple of years, we've talked, it is a joyful event. You've written about it, Pete. Mary McCusker wrote about it, I think the year before. Alan Dumoff last year, one of the freelance photographers for the Star Herald, he took photographs of the Mass that were so stunning that we had to put them on the front page of the paper because it's the reverence of the people who are there and the joyousness of the people who are there. It's wonderful that it's something that's so infrequent. I mean, these are basically visitors to our area for all of 6 weeks, and yet the thrill they get by having this special mass, and as I recall, special meal afterwards as well, right?
It's beautiful, and all the meals are cooked by the Haitian who live in South Jersey, and by the grace of the diocese and some other donors. So we purchase the rice and beans, and we give them. They add to it, and there's ton of food, as you see.
On this podcast, we talk about food a lot, so I was actually going to ask. So, like, what is usually prepared for?
So the Haitian meal is rice and beans and fried pork and fried chicken, and it's cooked in a certain way that you will not find it anywhere else.
Yeah, right.
So that's the reason why you see people, they stock the food for tomorrow, for the next day.
Yeah.
Because some of them, they just come without the family, so they don't cook, or they rely on somebody else to cook for them. So that day, they have a chance to have food that is for 3 days.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you see the food just gone. Even with like 50 trays of rice, it's not even enough.
No, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
And it's making me hungry.
Well, make sure that if you go this time, you test the Haitian meal.
Oh, I never pass up the food.
I'm not eating lunch beforehand. Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I was trying to describe it, and you talked about how the church comes to them, and I think that is one of the, at least in my experience, that is one of the truest acts of that is at the Haitian Farmworkers Mass, where you just see. I mean, that's what the church is about. We're the church of encounter, and we need to meet people where they're at. You hear that a lot, but you can talk about meeting people where they're at on Facebook, social media. When I hear that, I think about but no, this is physical, meeting them, and this is after they've spent a long day in the fields and it's hot, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of the heat, so I can't ever see myself doing that. I love blueberries though, but I don't know if I want to put into that work. I'm a wimp.
But it does give you an appreciation for. I mean, you get this. Everyone's, we talk about farm to table kind of restaurants and stuff like that. But in the United States nowadays, most of us, particularly those who have grown up here, have been sort of desensitized to what that's like. Now, fortunately, I had farmers in my family, so there were two different farms on either side of the family. So I was blessed to grow up with an appreciation for farm work. I was not particularly blessed with the work I had to put into it, because they put me to work on the farms usually. I still remember exactly how to split peas and get them out of the pods, and by the bushels full, but and pull them out for that matter. Come to think of it, never had to pull chickens. My mother used to. The farms she grew up on. She always had to defeather the birds, and that's the one thing she will never do ever again in her life, because she did it for 20 years growing up, was plucking chickens. And now she's like, Mike, if you bring me a bird, because I'd picked up hunting, she goes, you bring me a bird, I'm not plucking it. No, you're on your own. I was like, you got to learn that lesson too. I said, okay, that's fine. But it's true. Nowadays we just think of, we're getting our food at the supermarket, and it's good to think about the people who are working in the fields. And I'm not necessarily talking about the farm owners. I'm literally talking about the people working in the fields to be able to provide that food for us. I
don't know if Hammonton is provides blueberries for the whole United States.
Yeah,
and this is only once a year.
Yeah.
And the other aspect of it, I can talk about the spiritual aspect of it. Mm-hmm. You have people who used to go to church once in a while, and just they feel amazed to see, there's culture going on here, and I can come anyhow I want to. So those people, they getting evangelized right there, and when they go back home, they become church people.
Yeah.
And I know some of them, they were like really a little cold to come once in a while, and then they get into it and they just become on fire. Mm-hmm. And then the next year they will be the first one to be either in the choir or want to do everything. And I always ask them, do you go to church when you go back home? I say, yes, Father. And they can tell me the name of the priest, and they bring me flyers from the church now. It's such not only a thing that you do and stay there in New Jersey. it just continued in their home country because they go back to Haiti. When they go back to Haiti, they become choir member, readers, or be helpful to the church. So I have so many testimony about priests whom I met say, "Oh, thank you so very much," because my parishioners went to New Jersey, and then this guy was not a church person. Now he's in fire, So it was good.
That's beautiful, and you can cultivate those relationships while you're cultivating blueberries at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
And so let's get to the background of your own life. You were born in Haiti?
Yes, I was born in Haiti in 1970. Oops, I gave my age. So I grew up in Haiti in a little town called Tavet, where the hand-to-hand mission to Haiti goes every year. So it's a little area. We did not really have any close relationship with any priest, and there's no priest who come from there. So I think I am the first priest come from the town, and so that's the reason why I always believe in the calling that I have, because I didn't have any priest that to look after or to see how a priestly life is about. So, but I used to be involved, and I was involved in my town when I was 18 years old. We have a little place of gathering for every Sunday because we used to have Mass at the parish once a month because the priest goes to the other places. So the guy who used to be the director of that little station of gathering every Sunday, he did not know how to read. And then I was 14 years old, and another friend of mine also. So he used to call us to read the Gospel of the day every Sunday. So sometimes he just said, "Well, you just read the Gospel. Why don't you say something?"
Wow, put you on the spot.
Spot right there. So what we have to do now, beforehand, we had to read the Gospel and be ready in case he asks us to preach or to do something or to say something. So that's how I learned to be involved in the church. And since then, he died, and we become the ministers of that at an age of 16, and I was youth minister, and I was involved in the town by helping the kids to go to church. So I remember the first person who told me that I was going to be a priest. I hated that person. I did not like that. But the calling was there, and until I was 21, so I realized there's a calling, and I pursue it. And here I am now.
Wow. Where'd you go to seminary?
I went to Immaculate Conception Seminary.
In Seton Hall?
Seton Hall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was that your first introduction to New Jersey?
Oh, yes. When I moved here, actually, it's a little long story. I will just get it short.
Sure.
So I don't have to take the whole time. Well, I was involved in the charismatic movement a lot. So I used to preach at charismatic movement, and I have a group that we were on fire for the Lord, and I felt the call, and I went to the seminary. So when I get there, it was different. It was different because you used to just praying, speaking in tongue, and crazy for the Lord, and now you have to be only on the bravery, and you meet other people who do not really be in the same spiritual background like you. So I moved here, and I said, well, I can praise the Lord, go back to my own former way. But when I get here, I found myself in the Diocese of Camden because when you have the vocation, it's just so hard in you. So even you trying to escape, it will bring you back, just pull you back. So Bishop DiMaggio at that time, somebody knew Bishop DiMaggio and spoke about me. And then the great Father Zolak, whom he did not even speak French, and then we found a way to communicate. And I have great respect for him. I don't know how to say about him.
He's a natural when it comes to helping young people discern the priesthood.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So, and I would live in Nazareth House at that time. I don't know if you know the house behind Camden behind Camden Catholic High School. So a lot of us lived there, 7 or 8 of us lived there at the time to discern. And I went to Camden County College to learn English. If you have anything to say about my English, blame them.
Okay, got it.
But they are the best, I have to tell you, in English speaking, to teach people how to speak English. And after a year, the diocese sent me to Immaculate Conception. So I spent 6 years there and ordained in 2007. And after that, I went for more graduate classes. So it's been 12 years now since I was ordained.
So you say that, and it just thought popped into my head. When during the Farmworkers Mass, do you speak in French, Creole, English?
All of them.
All of them?
All of the above, yeah. We have a part of French and a part of Creole and a part of English.
Okay.
And sometimes because I work so hard to speak English, and sometimes I think there's a part of my mind doesn't want to speak Creole anymore, and sometimes I mix them.
Yeah, but that can't be easy. I mean, that's third language, first of all, and then you get, when you get around similar speakers, it's like it all comes back to you, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna get all this out as I can. But that's nice. So during, we talk about the farm workers coming up during that 6 weeks time, but you also minister to Haitians outside of that 6 weeks, right?
Well,
what kind of Haitian communities in South Jersey year round?
Well, we have a stable Haitian community now live in Galloway, New Jersey, and out of the Perpetual Help Parish. Before I moved to Collingswood, that I used to work with them every Sunday, and we have so many programs that I'm sure that you see some of them Star Herald. It's a very active, it's not a huge community, but they are very, very active. But now we have another priest working with them. So
from Haiti as well?
Yes,
okay.
He's from Haiti, so he speaks Spanish, English, and French and Creole. So he works also with the Spanish community.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
No, that's good when you can have someone available to them to speak in your own language.
Yes, so he will be the one also celebrating the Mass this coming Friday.
Oh, that's good.
So we've been so gracious by everybody in the diocese. It's such a beautiful event. Many people, they read about it, they come, they bring water, and you have a youth group from Central Borromeo who come to serve, and it's such an eye-opening for so many. And what I love about it is the respect, between the two groups, those who come to serve and those who will receive the service or receive the help. So it's such a very good gathering community for the diocese, which I love.
No, that's really nice.
And you'll be there on Friday, right?
Of course, yes, because the diocese asked me to help the new priest. So I'm putting everything together. So I just sent the booklets for the Mass to Cheryl before I came here.
The great Cheryl Summers,
Yes.
head of the Black Catholic Ministry now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She's awesome.
Yeah, we have to get her on the program soon.
I know, and
we
can. She's always happy to talk too. So it's why we haven't had her on already. I don't know.
Yes.
But she definitely needs to come on this summer.
Yes.
And so the farm workers, how much longer are they here in?
They're here until mid-July.
Mid-July.
Yeah, that depends on the season. Some seasons, like this season, I think they come late. They probably stay until the end of July, because sometimes they have to go twice to one farm, and sometimes they just go once because there's no more blueberries. But I think this year they have more people. They'll probably be done soon.
And how often do you get to make it back to Haiti?
I go to Haiti sometimes 3 times a year or
good.
twice a year. But January is our mission, hand-to-hand mission to Haiti. It's settled, so I go every year. And last year we distributed 5,000 solar lights.
Wow.
To all the mountain kids, those who live in the mountain who do not have electricity. So I have always between 18 to 25 missionaries who go with me every year, and they enjoy it. And we have great supporters from the parishes, people who travel with me.
Yeah, I remember reading Father Wallace's article in the Star Herald about the mission.
There.
He seemed truly touched by the experience.
Yes.
That was really.
And last year we have a seminarian with us, Paul.
Oh, right.
Paul was with us.
Bruscato, I think, right?
Yes, that's his name.
Oh, that'd be a good experience for him. I have to go back and talk to him about that.
Yes, he was.
And then Pete, I guess you need to go to Haiti next.
I know. I do want to go. The Haitian community. I was. It inspires me with stuff, and the earthquake that happened. How many years ago now?
2010. It's about 9 years.
And just that moment where they had gone through that struggle, but they had joy.
Yes.
And that is something that's still touching me.
Yes. I think it is in the nature of the Haitians they are all fighters, but they don't let the struggle put them down. So, even even the farm workers, you will see how joyful they are. If they don't consider their situation, they don't identify themselves with their situation.
Mm-hmm.
They still want to work, and most of them, they come here to work. And when you go to Haiti, you will not even see, because they have beautiful homes, but they are workers.
Yeah.
They are just looking to work.
Yeah.
That's the best part of it. And they come here to send the children to universities and to educate the children. They are joyful. Everything they are doing, they are joyful. What I do last year, I had another experience that I increased in my ministry with the farm workers. We had ton of orders. I didn't want to just give them all in one day, and I had the blessing to have 2 freezers and 1 refrigerator in Wildwood, where I was at Notre Dame de la Mer. So I just froze all the water and make them iced,
Mm-hmm.
and then my Tuesday was my day off, so I went to the farm singing along with them, put my music in my car, and then give them water, because we have so many different religions in there.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're just afraid of receiving them from Catholics. So like this, I more familiarized myself with them and friendly with them, and that's the reason why last year was our biggest event, because we have all the religions there.
That's another nice thing. Well, what are the major religions in Haiti? Obviously,
Baptist.
A Baptist, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Second Baptist is the largest one. But we are about 80% Catholic, so they are probably among the 2%. But they are big, but they don't have any mega church. We have some mega churches, but I don't even know. Those guys are just come, claim themselves prophets, and then.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't know if they are Baptist, Pentecost. I don't know what they identify themselves with.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see that as much in the United States anymore. Well, some places you do, I think. You see all these guys sort of create their own churches.
Yes.
And it's more of a cult of personality than it is a
That's
faith
what we
necessarily.
have now in Haiti.
Yeah. I see that's something I notice a lot that pops up in Camden and some actually where I did a lot of work in Cape May County. We would get a lot of those, I guess you could call them Pentecostal sort of churches pop up, out of nowhere. Yeah. But I love the fact that the Haitian Farmworkers Mass, there's an invitation for all the faiths to come to that.
And I always send the invitation. I always tell all the Catholic people, invite, make yourself open. Don't say this is a Catholic thing, you are not invited. Mm-hmm. So I always talk to them about it. Just invite. It is kind of opening to other people. And I always tell them, this is not about you are Catholic, you are Baptist. It is all about us as Christians, as sons and daughters of God. So I think this year also will be a success. Would be a success.
No, that's I desperately want to go to the Mass this year because I've missed it the last couple of years. So I'm very hopeful. Even though, as Pete knows, that there is one food item that I'm allergic to.
Which one?
Blueberries.
Really?
Yes. I, as far as I know, I'm the only person on the planet allergic to blueberries. Wow. So I will be taking my life into my hands, but I will still go because I'm that committed to it.
Well, does that make you sick or?
Yeah, break out in hives, and I had something recently. My wife didn't tell me that something that she had brought home to eat had blueberries in it, and I ate it, and man, felt terrible for the next it was a little morsel. I just had a little bite of something, and I just felt terrible for a while.
Well,
so yeah,
bring it back at that day because they gave us a lot of
blueberries,
and they dance coming with the offertory procession with blueberries. So you will love to see that.
Okay.
So is it tasting them or just being in the presence? Is there something they give off?
No, just if I consume them, there's an issue. So I'll be fine in their presence.
Okay, because I know people with peanut allergies. Sometimes you have to.
Not that I'm aware of, anyway. I've never noticed it if it's the case, but who knows? We'll find it. If I drop dead in the middle of the Mass, you'll know why.
Okay.
There you go.
So it was true.
We don't want that. We don't want that, brother.
It really was blue. It did have a blueberry thing. Yeah, that's true. Which is a shame too, because I always look at blueberry pies and go, "Man, that looks delicious."
When you allergic with something, you always have the desire.
That's when you really want it. Yep.
Yes.
It's like, come on, I'm not that allergic. Yeah, if I had a peanut allergy, I'd be dead 16 times over because I just can't.
I want to say something else about the owner of the farm. And this guy is Catholic, and his wife is Catholic. They are members of Saint Anthony of Padua in Hammonton.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're always there for the mass, and I'm telling you, the farm workers love them.
Really?
Because they are so nice to them. They make things available for them. Everything that they need to be fixed, either in the houses or in the place where they live, he does it really, really, really quick and nicely. So when we started, it was just a small place, and we had the rain, as always.
I remember the rain yesterday,
Always. And then, so people were under the rain, and the next year, he just extend the veranda where you sit, the way you sit. But it was something that could take only 25 people.
Yeah.
But now it can take more than 200 or 300 people.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how many people usually come to the Mass?
Ooh, Peter, can you say something?
Yeah, I would say like 200. We have outsiders coming.
Yes.
Myself, and we have the individuals. Greg Coogan came last year. Some members hand in hand.
Yes.
The mission team. But then you have the farm workers and their families there too. And it's like a community atmosphere because there's not really pews. There's wooden benches and picnic tables that people just sit on. And yeah, Mike, now that I'm thinking, I remember the picnic tables I was sitting on. On top of the tables were crates of blueberries. So,
hey, listen, it sounds like it's a great event, so I will risk imminent death and make it there anyway.
I think we fed every year about 800 to 900 people.
Oh, because the rest of the farm workers come too?
Farm workers. Because some people you don't see at Mass, but they will be the first online for the food. Of course.
Okay, that's...
Well, particularly if it's going to be good food. You show up for that. Oh, there you go. I'll miss the Mass and come for the food. No, just kidding.
And also, the way we count it is we count how many trays, how many plates of we buy sometimes. You know, if we have 1,000 plates and we have only 200 left, so we know that we feed about 800 people.
It's just and great music afterwards, and I think even you had a what's it got on the drums last year, playing with a steel drum.
Yes, no, we have someone who come to play music, which we don't know if we will have this year. He play keyboard.
That's it. Okay.
Keyboard, but he plays it on it's a one band man.
Oh, okay.
That put everything on the keyboard and then play it. And they love that. They just asked me last night, are we going to have music? I said, I don't know.
Well, it's so great to see the farm getting back to just there's something as I get older I appreciate more with the food where the food I consume comes from, and to physically see the blueberry fields is remarkable. As somebody who loves blueberries, blueberry pie, blueberry pancakes, just kind of sorry, Mike.
That's okay.
I'm just grinding it in.
No
you make him want to eat it.
Like, man, I really would like to have a blueberry pancake right now.
It's just the way that I've never picked blueberries. I picked strawberries though. But is there? Do you know? Have you gotten a sense of how the blueberry crop is doing this year? I mean, it seems like we've gotten a good amount of rain, but I don't know. Do you know how?
You know what? It's funny. My wife was just talking about that the other day, and she said she had just read that the crops were actually doing really, really well this year.
Oh, good.
Because it was such a rainy. It was not a snowy. It wasn't a cold winter. It was a rainy winter, so it did well.
I think I passed by. They all already been blue.
Yeah.
So you will see when you see like the grape. You know, it's a lot of them, and they've been blue. That's where you think, well, they have a good season. And I have to call the owner. The owner will tell me. He will tell me, we have a great season this year. He always be excited about it. And 2 years ago, we were going to have a storm at the beginning of the season. And he called me and said, Father, please pray for me, because we might lose our season this year. And then, well, I prayed, but next day he said, you must pray because the storm went away. So, you know, it's also because he invests a lot of money to bring those people in here and then to take care of the farm. And then sometimes if a tornado or if a storm just just ripped everything off.
Yeah, people don't understand just how fragile that farming system is.
Yes,
It can be easily influenced, and as many of those precautions you take, I mean, you can lose a season depending on what happens. And this season, we haven't had any really bad storms yet.
Oh,
We've had a couple recently, but it wasn't so terrible.
Yeah.
But you get a tornado to go through one of those and rip up the field, it'd be a problem.
Completely.
So keep the prayers coming, people. We should all be praying for that.
We can have a good season because we need blueberries.
Oh, well, the rest of you do, but yes, that's true.
And what time is the Mass on
The Mass
Friday?
is at 6, but
6.
I will be there around 2. I will bring some tables, and if anyone who would like to come to help out, I have the spoons and the knives to wrap in the napkins, and we have things for many people to do if they come. And I have to clean the space where the Mass is going to be celebrated, and also we have some little hanging decorations to put up. So anyone who would like to have a good time with Jesus, and I'm telling you, when you are with me, you will enjoy it. It's not a losing time. You will enjoy the time. Just come and enjoy and have fun.
That's wonderful.
I have to say on a personal note, Father, I always enjoy seeing you because you're always so joyful.
Oh, thank you.
And I mean it. Like just you have that smile on your face, and you're eager to talk. You're just you're really one of the. I'm always excited. Hey, Father, it's just you lift me up every day.
Oh, thank you so very much, Peter. Thank you for all the good works that you do, because you go where our voices cannot go, because you reach so many people with your texts, and now you introduced me into podcasts.
Oh yeah.
I am in all ages, so I don't even know what I am doing.
Well, hey, you came to us, so it made it even easier. That was perfect.
So
little internet radio. That's all we're doing
very
right
good.
now.
So thank you so very much
we're very happy to do it.
for being missionary disciples in your own way.
Oh, thank you very much
by your work, and I know that all those who work in the field like you do, it's a mission. It's not a job. It's a mission, because you see things that we don't see. Because I have to, when I see you around, I have to tell you guys, especially you with your camera, I have to make sure that I stand the way I
You
should.
look prayerful. Yes. You haven't let me down yet, Father Yvans.
So I don't want to just say, "Oh, he's here." So
I promise, I never put a bad photo in the paper. That's the one thing I'm sure of.
I know.
But that's right. I was at the Easter Mass. That's right. I was at your Easter Mass with Bishop this year.
Yes,
That's right.
that was beautiful.
So hopefully I'll be there on Friday. I'm very hopeful that I'll be able to make it down for Friday.
Yes.
But yeah. So there we go. Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap up. Good. So, Father, thank you very much for joining us. And
thank you for having
me.
Long
15-minute commute over from your new parish.
And I have another 15 minutes to go. And tonight it will be Haddon Township graduation. So I think it's a beautiful community thing that they will do. Yeah. They invite many clergies in the area to come for a service.
Oh, that's great.
So I will do the opening prayer, and the pastor will speak, and another pastor will close.
Perfect.
It is really nice.
I always enjoy those.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. And Peter, thanks for making sure we were able to pull this off.
Thank you for inviting me.
This is great.
Thank you so very much.
All righty.
And hope to see you all and especially I hope to see everybody, and especially Mike, on Friday at Columbia Fruit Farms in Hammonton, New Jersey at 6 p.m.
Yes.
That's right. All right, everybody.
God bless.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.